Morning, everybody. Just give us a few minutes and we will get started. Morning.
Okay, we're live.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Just give us a few minutes and we will get started. If you guys have chats, thanks to people who submitted, or chats, questions. Thanks to people who submitted questions in advance. But if you have any questions that you want to make sure we cover throughout our time this morning, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A feature. And good morning to everybody who's joined us on the webinar and also on Facebook. If you have any, sorry, got Adrian here. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, please feel free to put them in the chat, enter them on Facebook. We will do our best to get to everybody's questions. So give us just one more minute and we will get started.
I'm just going to take it in here.
I'm on mute. Good morning, Karen. Thanks to everybody. It's so great to see so many people here. I know it's early, so hopefully you all have some coffee and are ready to chat with us. So while we're waiting for a few others to join, Adrian and I thought it would be fun to ask each other a few questions. So we're going to go back and forth. We've each prepared a few questions and we're going to answer them. So first, Adrian, what is your name, your role at SOCO, your pronouns, and how long you've worked here?
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Adrian Mora. I am he, his. I am from Miami originally, and I have been working here at Special Olympics Colorado for almost 4 years now. I was formerly the Denver Region Manager, and now I'm the Senior Director of Regional Services. Meg, how about yourself?
Sweet. My name is Megan Scremin. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the president and CEO, and I've been with SOCO for close to 10 years. I started as our director of events and worked as our VP of development. So I've loved every role I've had here.
Awesome. I shared a little bit about my hometown. I'm from Miami, Florida. Meg, where are you from?
I'm from Saratoga Springs, New York, originally.
Awesome.
All right, Adrian, what's a fun fact?
Fun fact. Let's see. Fun fact about me, I love to travel. Specifically, my wife and I have attended 2 Women's World Cup finals and seen the women's national team win 2 gold medals.
That's a pretty cool one.
Pretty excited. How about you?
Mine is travel related too. I've been to all 50 states and 50 countries. So I love traveling.
That's a lot more than me. That's impressive. Meg, what's your favorite sport?
I love playing rugby. That's what I played all through college, and to watch probably basketball, college basketball.
Awesome.
What about you?
I played basketball growing up most of my life, and soccer. I would say those are probably my top two. Although I would say I'm retired.
Walker.
Yeah.
Fitness walking. What's your favorite sports movie?
We talked about this yesterday. I think The Sandlot is going to be my favorite sports movie. A big Benny the Jet Rodriguez fan.
That's a good one. I would have said Rudy.
Rudy's a good one. If you could eat one type of food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Sushi.
Sushi.
What about you?
Yeah, I think sushi's a really good one. I'm gonna have a tough time picking a different one, but I'm a big fan of rice and beans. I think I would probably go with that one. It just hits home.
It's a good one. This was one of the questions that somebody asked us, so I'm going to ask you, what's your Starbucks order?
You know, I'm not a big coffee person. I think I would probably go with a hot chocolate. Unpopular choice.
It's a very popular choice.
How about you?
I am plain, although I would say I'm drinking ink coffee now, trying to shop local, and just plain coffee with skim milk.
Okay. All right. Nice and boring. If you were a talk show host, who would be your first guest to interview?
Well, she's not alive. I would say Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
It's a really good one. Mine's not on company lines, but I'm going to go with Malcolm Gladwell. Big fan.
Good one. Okay, this is one I asked because I know what Adrian's going to say. What time do you like to wake up in the morning, and what time do you go to bed?
I am not a morning person. I usually wake up around 7 a.m. or so, which is probably pretty late for most people, but I am much a night owl. I'll probably be up into the early morning hours, hammering out some work. How about you, Meg?
Early riser. I usually wake up about 5 and often go to bed around 11. So not the best sleeping habits.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Would you rather be invisible or fly?
Fly.
Ooh, yeah. I think I'm with you. I think fly.
Okay.
Yeah, fly's a good one.
Last question. Favorite TV show?
All into Ted Lasso right now.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Mine too. Mine
really good.
too. Really good questions. Okay. So let's see if we had any more on the chat. How many athletes do we have at Special Olympics Colorado? We have more than 15,000 athletes or individuals with intellectual disabilities across the state, and thousands of unified partners as well. And that's a great question. Somebody asked, why did I only mention 2 pronouns and Adrian has 3? She, her, hers, I should have often in the Zoom boxes. I feel like it gets cut off, and that's actually why I did it. I should have listed 3. It was simply that. So great
question, though.
Yeah, very good question. And then good morning to everybody. So really appreciate, I think we've gotten through most of the questions. Welcome to everyone who is here. So we're going to start today. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. Just wanted to center us for this town hall. I think the last time I did a town hall was to talk about the release of our strategic plan. And as a reminder, we created a strategic plan. It was a really collaborative process. We conducted a stakeholder survey where we got a lot of responses from the community, including from family members and athletes, partners, coaches, volunteers, staff. And so what that led to was a strategic plan that exists starting January 1 of this year and runs through December 31st of 2024. So it's a 5-year strategic plan, 25. It's a 5-year strategic plan, and we are about 7-8 months into it. So we're at the beginning of it, but I wanted to provide an update as to where we are. And that also kind of make sure that we look at our strategic plan kind of as our roadmap, making sure that the things that we're doing align back to that strategic plan. So as a reminder, for those that had seen it or for those that are new, we have 3 priorities within our strategic plan. The first is to enhance experience. So we want to make sure everyone has the best experience possible. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail on these in a minute. The second is to expand our reach. So we want to make sure that we're serving as many people as we possibly can who want to join the Special Olympics family. And the third is to empower our athletes and others to drive inclusion. So I'm going to share my screen in just a minute. We're going to get into a little bit about what that means, digging deeper into those strategic goals, where we are to date. So hold on one moment. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Okay. Brittany is the only one I can see. So Brittany, I don't know if you can put in the chat if you're able to see this.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So a little bit about our first key priority, which is enhancing experience. So we have some areas within this, strategies, or as you can see, we have these three key priorities, and underneath them, we have some strategies. And those are things that a tool or a plan that we use to reach our overall organizational goals. So the first strategy is all around quality sports and programming for all. So, and below, we've just bulleted out a few of the updates that we've made so far. Again, we're just 8 months into this plan. It is a 5-year plan, but here's a little bit of the progress that we've made so far and a bit of what's to come. First, the seasonal registration process, which Adrian and I are going to talk about in a little bit. So I won't go into too much detail, but know that that is one key element of this first strategy. We hired an athlete experience manager. Coming soon, we will be doing another stakeholder survey so that we can gain feedback to really see how we're doing there and make changes moving forward. And then Adrian will chat a little bit again in a bit. We restructured responsibilities within our regional services. So the department that Adrian oversees, which is our regional managers, and our sports department to allow for more athlete, coach, family interaction on the part of the regional services team.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah.
Sorry, the slide isn't showing anymore.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure what happened.
You see it now?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, sorry, I moved it
No
from
worries.
screens. Sorry about that. The second strategy that we have is all about volunteer education, engagement, and retention. And that includes, of course, our coaches, which are a key element to everything that we do. A massive part of our success. We couldn't do what we do without coaches and our volunteers. So progress to date, we created and implemented a coaches certification process, which is really meant to create a great experience for coaches from the get-go. So everything from training on what Special Olympics is, working with people with intellectual disabilities, what our sports are, the things that we offer to really set everybody up for success. To date, 391 coaches have been trained, and we have a 96% rate of reporting extremely satisfied with that training. So that's great. A lot of progress to go, but that's one step that we've made. And then we're getting ready to have our Coaches Summit on October 2nd. Third strategy is improving athlete health. So that's where we've been conducting. COVID, of course, has impacted what we can and are able to do, but we have conducted a few health screenings so far. We are also continuing our wellness challenges that really started in 2020, have been incredibly popular, and we'll continue seeing those through. We've also added a new element called performance stations, which is adding fun health and wellness tips, hydration stations right at the competition. So it's kind of incorporated into the competition experience. And then coming soon, we will have an inclusive health training offered to healthcare providers to really make sure that that experience is a good one for both the healthcare provider and our athletes. Engaging families, we've created a family input council. So thank you to the families members who serve on that. They're meeting, but we know that's an area we've got a lot of work to do still. And then making sure that all SoCo community members feel included. We have a diversity, equity, and inclusion goal within each of our 3 key priorities. And this is one where we have a DEI committee that has been created, including internal. Adrian and Maggie actually co-lead that committee. It includes staff as well as external community members. Special Olympics athlete Mylene Hagel's on that as well. So goals have been set. The committee is meeting. So we're making progress there. Moving on to the next one, expanding reach. So our first strategy here is educating communities. And hopefully if you've been around town, specifically in the Denver metro area, you've seen billboards. We just released our 3rd I Am an Athlete video series. We have our Bright by Text partnership where text messages are going out to different constituents, letting them know about Special Olympics. Created media partnerships, unified leadership training. So we're really trying to be strategic in getting the word out about who we are and what we do. Second, increase athletes, teams, local programs, and other stakeholder groups. So this is one, when we go into that seasonal registration form or process, we know we want to have more people join the Special Olympics family. We think it's a great family, as we want as many people to join as possible. We see the benefits that it can have for athletes, for their families. And also it enhances the experience. The more athletes we have, the more teams that we have, the more competitive the experience can be, the more fun a competition can be, because there's multiple teams or athletes competing within your division. So for many, many reasons, we really want to focus on increasing the number of people that we serve and work with. So again, we've got this seasonal registration process. We'll talk about the restructuring of the regional services department. Again, that gives regional managers more time to go out, meet their current families, meet their current coaches, and also recruit new members. Getting into unified schools. As many people know, we have an amazing Unified Champion Schools program led by Shaka Sutton. And in this upcoming year, we've actually been awarded a grant through Special Olympics International to really do a deeper dive into Denver Public Schools and Aurora Public Schools. So we will continue to expand that Unified Champion Schools program statewide and really focusing on those two districts, though, as well as rural schools. That'll be a focus for us. And then strategy 4 here, reach more athletes and community members of various demographics and backgrounds. This is our diversity, equity, and inclusion goal, and we really will continue to focus on that. I think our DEI committee and internal focus has been making sure that we are set up for success, that when people come to Special Olympics, it's a place where they feel welcome. There is that sense of belonging. So then we'll continue our reach externally. And then our third and final priority is empowering athletes and others to drive inclusion. So the progress we've made here, our first strategy around athlete leadership. We have our next athlete leadership university coming up on September 19th. We are still seeking athletes who want to join us for this university style experience. It's the fall semester, and athletes can first enroll in Leadership 101. You would then have the choice of enrolling in governance track, a communications track, or a health and wellness track. So it's a really great experience. You can register through September 19th. And yes, Steph, I was just about to mention that. We are also looking for mentors. So it's a great experience for anyone to get involved, because a mentor would come, they would attend Alps University alongside an athlete, and then work with them after the course is completed that particular day on a capstone or a practicum project that would be completed and worked on through the spring semester. So perfect. And I see Brett put the link in the chat. And then the other thing, we're focusing on meaningful involvement. So athlete leadership is all about giving athletes the tools to feel confident as athlete leaders, and also creating opportunities. So meaningful involvement. You can see here what we've defined meaningful involvement as, and we've also internally started tracking all of the roles that are so vital and are being filled by athletes. And then the final strategy here is using unified leadership to drive inclusion. So unified leadership is a program and a training, and actually I should say it's more of a mindset, a way of doing things. But we've created an external training led by Stephanie Levine and Hannah Atkinson, who is an athlete, in collaboration with Special Olympics International. And we've just launched this, but this is our way of going externally beyond Special Olympics to reach other organizations and companies and to really share with them what we do in this unified leadership approach. So we've only had 6 presentations so far, 190 trained, but of those trained, 100% of respondents report that they are more motivated to change their behaviors to be more inclusive of people with intellectual disabilities. And we consider that a win. So I'm going to share a little bit about unified leadership and what it is, in case this is something that you would be interested in having come to an organization that you work with, your company. So what it is, we are just trying to start a conversation. I want to be really clear about that. The session is co-facilitated by a staff member and a Special Olympics athlete. And we are starting a conversation using our lived and, in my case, learned experiences. And we hope that people walk away with more knowledge about intellectual disability, about Special Olympics, and about this unified leadership approach, what it is. We hope that people walk away with more confidence in interacting and communicating with people with disabilities. And then we want to give everyone some tips on how to be an advocate. And those tips can be big or small. And so those are the things that we hope everybody walks away with. So thanks to Brooke for putting that in the chat. If you want to get more involved, there's the link as well. So perfect. Now we are going to shift gears into our seasonal registration form. So this is something that we're really excited about. Something that, like I said, it's really responding to feedback we've received. It's trying to meet some of our strategic priorities and organizational goals. So what we hope to accomplish by creating a seasonal registration process: ease and experience. We want to make sure that every athlete, whether they are new to Special Olympics or currently registered as a Special Olympics athlete, have an easy way to get involved in a new sport each and every season. We also want to provide a service, better service to coaches, where we can provide rosters, expiring athlete application deadlines sooner. We want to provide consistency. So this is something that I've heard from a lot of families. We've grown leaps and bounds over the years. And so we have young athlete program, we have transition age programming, we have adult programming, we have school-based programming, which is amazing. And so we're trying to make a consistent process for everyone. It's the same thing every year, and it's the same thing no matter what age you are, if you want to get involved in a sport each season. We've also extended the timeline, and Adrian will talk a little bit more about that. So there's less rush to complete forms. You could also do it at the very last minute, and that's cool too. We'll be releasing seasonal details further in advance. Contact information. We want to be able to get athlete and coach contact information earlier. Right now, we only get contact information every 3 years. And so this way we can better communicate with athletes in a method or mechanism that is of their choosing. So thinking text message, email, whatever, mail, whatever the case may be, but we need that updated contact information. And then again, as I said, we want to make it easy so that we can expand the number of athletes and coaches that we have. For that, I'll turn over to Adrian.
Yeah, thanks. So our seasonal registration process is, we're looking to start it up now on September 1st. So you'll be seeing some more information coming here online in the coming weeks. But essentially what we will be doing is starting with our winter season. So we want to get a full calendar year of opportunity available early so that we can get started on registration. So September 1st, keep an eye out for that. It's going to be available for all athletes, all unified partners, and coaches. As you go through the form, it'll prompt you which direction and path you're going to go on based off of your role here at Special Olympics. And then we're just going to ask basic information about what you're seeking out of registration, what sports you might be interested, where you're looking to go. And then that will help us on the regional services side to be able to best place athletes with programs that are best equipped to support them around their sports and needs and interests, and then align them with coaches who are equipped to support them with either the opportunity, the same age group of athletes, the same community and localized opportunities around where the athletes and unified partners are based. So we'll be presenting this as a registration process per season. So this will be live September 1 until December, and then that will give us an extended time frame to be able to get people registered early, start placing them with teams, start fielding information from coaches far in advance so that we have timely information to be able to place people with programs accordingly. And then this basically is going to replace some of the existing forms that you may already be familiar with. So for coaches, this is our seasonal registration or intent form that we send out ahead of a season to capture information about your practices, where you're located, your team composition, that type of stuff. And then on the young athlete side, you may already be familiar with their intake process and trying to get information about who's interested in joining what sport at what time. That will then be replaced by this. So now it's just going to be a more comprehensive and collective approach. That said, it does not replace the Class A process or background check that unified partners and coaches are familiar with, or the athlete application. That process will still remain in effect. So seasonal timeline: 4 months before practice, sports will be announced and registration will open. 3 weeks before practice, registration will close and team placement will begin. And then 1 to 3 weeks before the season begins, the athlete application event will take place. I will say that once registration closes, that doesn't mean that that's the end all be all of participation. If people are still registering after the fact, we can work on a case by case with each of those families, and the regional managers will work with those individuals to find those opportunities for them. But we will have a soft close deadline to encourage people to get their registrations in that timely manner so we could best support them in advance.
Perfect. Yes, and to answer those I see Nicole's asking about Brittany in Oregon. I know that, Britt. She's amazing. Different Brits, but love that, Brittany. And the information will be available online starting September 1st. So thank you for those questions.
Awesome. Great. All right, additional notes. So hoping for all athletes and unified partners and coaches to take this opportunity. It will be really beneficial for us to see a concerted effort and a collective approach from everybody that we serve. It's not by any stretch a mandatory option for people, but it will help us on the Special Olympics side to make sure that we are best supporting you, the more amount of people that do take advantage of this opportunity. That said, there are numerous other registration processes where athletes have already been participating with a team for a very long time and are familiar with the coach, and they can continue doing that. We're not taking away from that opportunity at all. So if I'm a Southsiders athlete and I want to continue working with the Southsiders, all I have to do is go back to my coach and just let them know that I would like to re-up for that season, as I have been doing all the way up until this point. So that's not going away. This is just an added opportunity for us to be able to reach different people who are either looking for new sports opportunities that haven't had that opportunity in the past, because their team may not offer that specific sport. So this will be able be a way for us to be able to see that and then be able to place them with other teams and just reach more people who are looking to get involved. So this is also just one thing I want to be really explicit about, that it's not something that coaches need to track on their own. We are internalizing this process, and this is going to be a centralized registration process that Special Olympics will implement and oversee. So if coaches, you are already engaging with your athletes and helping them with registration for your bowling team, for example, for this coming season, please continue to do that. We're not asking you to do anything differently, but we are also here to support by having this registration process and can provide you with a comprehensive list if you want to direct your athletes to go through this process for registration as well. In addition to all of this, we are looking to implement a quarterly MedFest. So the idea behind this, and we've heard it from so many about the challenges around athlete applications and paperwork needs, especially as we run up against the deadlines of our competition. So to try to address that, we want to get ahead of it and provide a free and accessible way for our athletes to run through their athlete application, do their sports physicals, complete their athlete applications on site so that they're prepared and ready to go for the season. So we're hoping to do regional MedFests around the state so that we have those opportunities available and easily accessible for people to participate in. And our tentative date for that is December 4th. So stay tuned for more information on that from us as regional managers, and then just from general messaging from the state office as well. And then last but not least, and I'll cover this a little bit more, but as always, please reach out to your regional managers. They're here to support you as coaches, athletes, family members, parents, unified partners, and be able to answer any questions that you may have or point you in the right direction to somebody who may be able to best support you as well.
And I see a question in the chat, and it's actually a question that we had received in advance of this town hall, and we've received a lot. Can you give us a list of the teams who are participating in that particular season, where they practice, et cetera? We believe that this seasonal registration process, offering it a little bit earlier, is our best way to get there. We don't yet have well in advance a list of who's practicing where, who has space for more athletes on that particular team. We need to collect that information sooner. And so to answer that wonderful question that has been asked so much, where can I find a list of teams or where do I go? This is our hope, that we can ask everyone to register here. I want to participate in basketball, fill out the form, and then it's on us, Special Olympics, to pair you with a team. Steps later down the road, we would love to be able to have a listing of, here are all of our local programs, here are all of our teams, what sports they participate in, where they practice. But we're in that initial phase where we need to start collecting that information. So thank you for that question.
Mm-hmm. So we're obviously starting with our winter season. Just so you guys are aware of what sports are offered during our winter season and know what to register for, we're going to be offering snowshoe, both youth and adult-based snowshoe, snowboarding, alpine skiing, Nordic skiing, so that's cross-country skiing, figure skating, speed skating, and then basketball for both youth and adult opportunities. All of these will be available on the registration form, so please look out for that and feel free to register. And then the winter seasonal registration process, just to highlight some of the dates that we've talked about so far. September 1st, we're going fully online with this registration process. December 1st is when our coach forms are due. Team placement will take place between December 13th and 17th. And then by December 20th, we will be notifying all registrants of their team placement, who they're placed with, what coach is going to be their main point of contact moving forward, and where they'll be able to start their season come the early parts of next year. And then our winter season will kick off just after the holidays, once everybody's returned from New Year's, and right around that first weekend in January is when we'll begin with our winter season, especially our snow sport competitions and practices.
Great. And a follow-up question was, this will be great for basketball. What do I do if I want to find out about bowling for the fall? Contact your regional manager. So they have always been and will remain a resource for you. We want to make it a little bit easier for everybody to do exactly what you asked. I want to bowl in the fall. What do I do?
Yeah. And Britt, if you're listening in, I'll cover a little bit here about regional managers, but if you don't mind sharing the regions link here in the chat so people know who to reach out to. Is there specific regional managers that might be helpful? But if you haven't seen this before, this is our regional managers map. So our region map, sorry. This is where each of our regional managers are based and the territory that they oversee. So I currently am overseeing all our Denver region operations, and then leading the team that oversees Northeast, West, and Southeast. So Elizabeth Aslin is our Northeast regional manager. Michelle Pewters is our Western regional manager, and Tasha Noble is our Southeast regional manager. I just wanted to share a little bit more about what to expect from us. So Meg alluded to a little bit at the beginning of our call about our shift in responsibilities recently, and we've separated out our sports and competitions team, but now it's exclusively looking at our regional and state competitions and planning and executing those events. So that's provided us as regional managers more opportunity for us to be focused on regional growth, outreach, and then regional engagement and support. So for that, it's our areas are really just that, and we want to be more at front with our regions and more involved and engaged and supportive of our regions. So that's helping athletes and family members get involved, get connected, be more involved in our additional programming, both on and off the field. So our athlete leadership program and unified leadership and our inclusive health programmings that we have available as well. And then connecting them with all the opportunities are available for them to engage and participate in sport too. In addition to that, we're focused on regional growth and providing more access to new athletes to get involved, people who haven't been involved in the mission before, engaging with new community groups, and then making community connections. So finding opportunities for people who are involved with Special Olympics to get engaged with some of our community partners as well, who may be able to provide additional services that we don't have accessible here at Special Olympics. So really, in a nutshell, us as the regional services team, we're just your conduit to all things engagement with Special Olympics. And please connect with us. We're happy to engage with you guys, answer questions and support you as best as we're able. So please feel free to reach out to your regional manager and get connected and say hello.
Perfect. And also want to give a shout out to the sports team. So led by Susan Fogue with Corey Chandler and Kyle Visser, who's also a Special Olympics athlete. They do an amazing job putting on those competitions, which is, we'll get into, we have a lot of events and competitions. That is no easy feat. So incredible team there, which I know so many people will know that team as well. So here's a little bit about the fall season.
So carrying on, we've received some questions about the fall season. We're in it. It starts next week. So fall season is going to be offering flag football, everybody's favorite sport, bowling, and volleyball. We'll have those opportunities statewide, and we have a great number of events and opportunities for people to engage in competition. So we'll start off as early as September 18th with the Denver Region Flag Football Competition. And then you'll see all our flag football dates following their suit. And then we'll move into our regional bowling competitions. So we'll have tournaments in Grand Junction, Craig, Southeast, up in Fort Collins. We'll also have our state flag football competition. We'll be returning to our partners at Colorado State University in Fort Collins. So very excited about that. And then we're looking to shift into Denver bowling. Those are going to have several opportunities for people to compete here in the Denver region over the course of 2 weekends around Halloween, the weekend that follows in November. We'll have our CHASA, our school-based unified bowling competitions as well. That's going to take place here in the Denver region at Bellevue Lanes. Then we'll move into, on November 20th, so is going to be our culminating event, our state fall classic, where we'll offer both bowling and volleyball on the same day here in the Denver region of Bellevue Lanes and Elevation.
And then thanks to the individual who asked about our mask guidance. Just as a reminder, we're asking that all volunteers, staff, coaches, spectators at competitions and practice wear a mask at all times. We're asking all bowling athletes to wear their mask at all times. And then for volleyball and flag football, please, athletes, wear your mask at all times, except when you're actively on the field of play or competing. So thank you. We're doing that to keep everybody safe so we can continue running our programs and having competitions to the best of our ability. And we'll quickly go through some upcoming events. You can actually see them on the screen if you're listening. We have Plane Pull coming up, Athlete Leadership University, which we touched on earlier, our Bocce and Brews presented by our Young Professionals Board, and Jets Pizza on September 25th at Rhinehouse, and Hall of Fame presented by Comfort Dental on October 13th. The Hall of Fame is where we will induct our male and female athlete of the year into the Hall of Fame, our volunteer of the year, community partner. It's a really inspirational event at the Hyatt Regency. And if you're interested in getting involved in any of these events, please go to our calendar. So that was another question that we received in advance. Where do we go for event information? specialolympicsco.org/calendar. So that is our most up-to-date listing of anything and everything that we have going on. If you click on the calendar event, you'll see all the details within it, registration links, volunteer opportunities there if they exist. So please stay tuned there. And again, as I was just touching on the safety of things, our competitions, our events, we continually monitor guidelines. We try to go over and above the safety guidelines that exist to make sure that it's a safe and fun event for everyone who participates. And as such, we all need to brace ourselves that things may change. We're trying to provide information as early as we can, but knowing that things may change. So then here's a few more events we'll quickly touch on that are coming up.
Yeah, so this is actually a new one for us. So the Battle of the Bats tournament presented by Charles Schwab is going to take place on Saturday, September 11th, and it's a community-wide softball tournament available for 16 teams. We'll have a competitive and a recreational division, but basically looking for teams who are interested in joining. It's $625 to join as a team for 20 people. Every team's guaranteed to have 3 games. And everybody who participates will get a complimentary t-shirt. It's our first time taking a stab at doing a sports-specific fundraiser for our community. So I hope you are interested in joining, and please feel free to reach out to me directly if you would like to field the team.
Should be a lot of fun. We have our Fall Coaches Summit coming up on October 2nd, which we mentioned a little bit earlier. It is open to all coaches, 7 to 5, and coaches will have the opportunity to get certified in the sports listed below. A question we heard earlier is, how long does that certification last? 3 years for the first one. I believe the sport lasts forever. So you don't need to renew the sport specific certification, but that level 1 certification, that will be part of the Class A application every 3 years.
Right.
And we did that because information changes, sports change, things change, policies change. So we wanted to make sure everyone's getting that continued up to date. All right. Quickly touch on some fall and winter wellness challenges. These have been incredibly popular. We're finishing our well fitness bingo right now, but we have 2 challenges that will come up for the remainder of the year. Fall into Fitness, which is a Fit 5 challenge with a twist. We actually have Hannah Atkinson and Jimmy Kropp athletes leading the charge. They're helping provide content, trainings, sessions, etc. So you can learn more about that on our website or register to get involved. And then we'll close out the year with Holiday Happiness, which is all about focusing on mental health, emotional wellness, stress coping. Incredibly important to focus on. And so really looking forward to that wellness challenge. And then just about to the end of our presentation, but wanted to mention a team funding opportunity. So for all of our existing teams who may be in need of refreshed equipment or uniforms, until August 31st, you can apply. There's a link there, but we've sent it out to coaches. We've put it on social media. Apply for funding that will help provide new equipment, uniforms, get those things up to date. So if you have any questions, please reach out, but we're really excited to be able to offer this opportunity to all of our teams. We received more than 140 applications so far. USA Games, that is a question we get asked a lot about. You can see here our Team Colorado consists of 57 athletes and unified partners and 15 coaches in the sports listed below. We've announced some of the athletes that have been going. And again, the application process, it's based on qualifications, sports you participated in over the past couple of years. If you participated in a competition, medaled. I won't get into every detail, but it is on the website, specialolympicsco.org/USA Games. For some sports, we had to modify it because we didn't have a traditional competitive year last year. And then everyone who was eligible received letters saying, an email saying that you can apply to go. From that, we pulled names out of a hat. A bowl, actually. And so applications for bocce, golf, tennis, and triathlon should be out shortly. So stay tuned for those. And then last thing we wanted to mention is that last night, we released our next installment of the I'm an Athlete video series, which is an amazing video series, giving people a deeper dive into our athletes. Again, it's part of the way I'm trying to let everybody, and not just those who know Special Olympics, but everybody get to know more about our athletes, learn more about them, how it's impacted them, and be inspired by our athletes.
If you haven't had a chance to watch them yet, they're very moving segments. I highly recommend you give it a watch.
Agreed. So with that, if there are any questions, we would be happy to answer them. One question I see that came up are fundraising with current limitations. So for fundraising events, if you are doing it externally, meeting with a third-party partner, we would want to make sure that you're following all of their guidelines. If athletes are present or if you're fundraising on our behalf, again, we ask that you wear masks. Your regional manager is also a resource to talk through any opportunities that you're thinking of, and we're happy to talk through those. Our polar plunge series will be launching in the winter. And that's a really great opportunity for teams to register a team, polar plunge, and then you can earn money, raise money for your actual team or local program. So that's a great opportunity. But if there's any specific questions on like, could we do this or that, please let us know. We have an amazing development team here. We're ready to talk fundraising, any ideas you have, any ways that we can support. So please reach out with that. Are there any other questions for us? Anything Special Olympics that we didn't cover? Right, a minute.
Will this be shared on YouTube?
Yeah, this will be on Facebook. I'm not sure if we're putting it on YouTube, but it will be on Facebook. So the video will be absolutely available. And this was recorded as well. While we wait and see if there's any, we're putting on YouTube. Yes, can't wait to see everybody on Alps University, September 19th. Register for that. That is a really fun event. It's a great opportunity for athletes, great opportunity for mentors. I'm excited. I teach the communications course, so putting in a plug for that one. It's a lot of fun.
And I teach an extracurricular cooking class. So yeah, come check that out. That's fun.
Very fun. So we just want to thank you all so much for tuning in, for your questions in advance during the town hall. If there's ever anything you want to know, please know that we are here as a resource to answer any questions, always open to feedback, ideas, suggestions that you have. That's what makes us get better and better. And so we want to make sure that we are here as a resource for you. For I think USA Games, final announcements should be made within the next month or so. Don't quote me on, I guess I could stop sharing. Don't quote me on that, but you can go to our website. It should be soon. Once we have that, our team will be in touch with, we have a great member of the team, Ashton, who will be working directly with the families. We have team members, Susan and Aaron, who head up our USA Games delegation, who will be working directly with the athletes on all the things to know and upcoming events. It's a great question. All right. Well, if you guys have anything, please, if you want to sign up for our newsletter, go to specialolympicsco.org, and there's actually a pop-up there where you can get up-to-date information all the time. And then also we have info@specialolympicsco.org as a general email that's open for all inquiries. Will we be wearing masks at basketball and flag football? My guess is yes. Currently, we've made mask decisions through the fall season, which would include wearing masks at all times, except when athletes are actively competing in flag football. So if the game is on, or you're actively practicing, you can remove your mask. We would, if people feel comfortable wearing their mask, absolutely do so at all times. But yeah, nothing has been released about specific to masks at basketball, but at least for flag football. So let me see, I think there's a Q&A. How we can get in more Zoom fun activities. Thanks. We have a lot of fun activities through our SoCo at Home. You want to talk about Spanish lessons?
Yeah, actually, so Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up starting September 15th through October 15th. And as a part of that, we are going to be offering a 3-part series, Spanish lessons that are going to be available to any and all who are interested. It's going to be hosted by a really amazing volunteer of ours, works with us at Charles Schwab, and she's offered to provide some introductory Spanish lessons. So we'll be starting those on November 27th, and more information on that will be shared out here in the next couple of weeks. But one of the really cool interactive pieces that we'll have available through SoCo at Home, in addition to that, we have trivia and just social hours where athletes and any community member could come in and engage and connect with people virtually from the comfort of their own homes.
So we took a little bit of a summer pause on some, not all of the SoCo at Home activities in August, and getting ready to release new activities for the September. So stay tuned. It's on. Yep, Britt just put a link in there, specialolympicsco.org/SoCo at Home. And yep, those are all on Zoom classes, so anyone can join.
Yep.
We'll be doing trivia, bingo, things like that. So trying to mix it up, keep everybody interested and engaged. Any other questions? I think that's all I see. I'm not sure if there's any other on Facebook, but thank you all very much. We're so grateful to you taking the time, hopefully enjoying your coffee or hot chocolate with us in the morning, and appreciate all that you do. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.